Welcome to our first video update of 2020. We hope your year has gotten off to a good start. Today, I'd like to take a quick look back at 2019 and then look forward into 2020 and the themes we'll be following this year. We began 2019 on the heels of much volatility in the last third of 2018. You may recall the themes we were following last year. 1, slowdown in growth around the world. 2, interest rates nearing the neutral level. And 3, balancing risk and reward. In 2019, we saw the Fed lower interest rates 3 times and then pause in December and January. We continued to see geopolitical events make headlines, and we saw trade with China beginning to find some level of stability. We also experienced an uncommonly good year in our financial markets. My grandfather was a farmer, and he might have used the term bumper crop to describe it. As we look forward now to 2020, we have identified 3 themes we'll be following. First, a policy pause, as a keen focus on trade with China and action by the Fed begin to recede. 2, global growth, in part due to the easing by central banks, both by the Fed and around the world in 2019, which in turn has cleared a path toward continued growth. In addition, we continue to see substantial growth in technology. And 3, building resilience in portfolios by continuing our focus on reducing risk. You will hear us talk about reducing risk by improving the quality in fixed income allocations and by beginning to reduce risk in environmental, social, and governance risks. We will talk more about ESG in the coming months, but for today, let's take a look at the G, or governance component, which I believe is very important. So what is governance? I think of it as the guidance and behavior of top leaders and boards of companies. So why is governance important, and how can it impact risk? Consider this. Often when we hear of a company having financial difficulty, governance is at least part of the issue. Remember Enron in the early 2000s? I know many of you will. Or more recent headline news of WeWork. It is these kinds of risks that we want to minimize as part of our focus on ESG. We recently completed our quarterly review with our portfolio construction team at BlackRock, and we asked them, as we do each quarter, to help us better understand risk and positioning in light of the themes we're following and the more recent data. This quarter, our actions are centered on the themes I've just outlined. We will continue to improve credit quality in our fixed income exposures, and we will adjust our U.S. equity-based allocations to potentially benefit from growth in technology and to reduce risk in the areas of ESG. Finally, as we watch the global news unfold about the coronavirus, we asked BlackRock to address this specific risk in our review, and as that applies to our allocation to emerging markets. We're now reducing that exposure and may increase it again later in the year as the impact of the coronavirus becomes clearer. Our goal is to participate as opportunities develop while continuing to keep risk in check and appropriate based on your individual risk tolerance and goals. And remember, your personal planning is the cornerstone and most basic factor that will help our clients make progress toward their goals. Please let us know what questions you may have and how we can help. Thank you for taking the time to listen today.